Hey guys, we're here at Baitworks. We are going to do the pro picks for the month of June. We're going to walk through and pick out some of the stuff we catch them on. I'm Lawson, Hibdon.
I'm Dion, Hibdon.
We're going to walk you through some of the stuff that we throw.
I'm going over
I think
here.
we can start over here this time.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at everything.
You go to the swimming plugs and I'll go to the flukes. They might not have no big ones.
Yeah, you're not going to catch them as good, I guess.
I don't think they do have big flukes.
That'd be a good color.
Well, that's all right. We'll just...
I think I spotted some more over here.
We use that bigger one a lot. I'm not sure what the size of it is, but it's like 6 inches long. These I think are called a 4. But we use like the 6-inch fluke a lot that time of the year. Because by the time you get into June, those fish are already really post-spawn and they're starting to get on their summertime haunts a little bit. Most of this stuff you have to use a little bit heavier because a lot of those fish are gonna start getting out there in that, 10 to 15 foot. On the clear lakes, they get even deeper. Sometimes they get on out there, to say 20 even on Table Rock, Bull Shoal, stuff like that. But we throw them a little bit bigger offering too a lot of times when that happens.
We do a lot of swim baiting in June. We don't use that many different ones though. Pretty well. I mean, we use that big Kitech a lot, and we use a couple more that just have different actions and stuff, but we do use a lot of swim baits.
Did you find a big swim bait?
Huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll
worry about yourself.
Okay.
Pick out your own.
I can use your stuff too.
I know you do.
You use my stuff for, how old are you? 26 years? So approximately 23 or something you've been using my stuff? Let me get that one, get a bag of these for sure. You just got to understand that a lot of the stuff that you're going to use can be bigger now. It can grow, from May to June, it can get quite a bit bigger. But a lot of it's going to be very shad oriented. And when I say that, they still eat a crawdad. A crawdad's one of them deals that they'll eat it anytime they're around it. I mean, it's like a bucket of chicken to me. I ain't never going to turn it down. Catch some on a big spinnerbait too. Let me get one of them. And when I say a big spinnerbait, you might as well throw one that's 3/4 ounce, fairly good sized blades on it. But you don't want it to have a big blade on the arm because you don't want to slow it down that much. You can have a pretty big willow leaf on the back, but you don't want that blade on your arm to be too big. And it's one of the times when I use a round blade a lot of times, simply because it won't hold it up. It'll let it, you can still work it deeper.
There you get over here with the cranking plugs. This one's kind of tough. We do use, several different colors. Normally in June it's fairly bright, They like the blues and chartreuse, but you also get a day every now and then where they want something just really natural, shaddy. That'd be a good one. I'm gonna pick out like 3 of those. Those are good ones. Ooh, those are a lot. That's a lot of metal. That one's a little more reasonable sized.
Did you pick out a football head?
No, go ahead.
No? Okay, I will.
I might have picked one out.
Man, I hate to sell that jewel stuff. I'm just kidding. Kinda, not really.
I think I've got more than 5 in here already. It's hard to only pick out 5 things.
Oh, I'm not going by that anymore.
You're not?
No. Picking out as many as I want.
I did.
Where's somebody we like with football head?
Huh? I just picked the jewel one out.
Oh, yeah. Did you pick out the right kind of
A
trailer?
little bit, not a lot. Pocket crank.
Oh, there you go. Did you get a crankbait?
Yep. Know what it is.
Okay. We got June's picks out there. Really, the only thing that I changed from May a whole lot, you know, I still throw a fluke type bait, and I throw this on a head. Sometimes it's a head that wobbles, sometimes it's just a jig head. You know, because now you're wanting it to get out there a little bit deeper. So a lot of times I don't throw a scrounger type head, I just throw a regular jig head, you know, something that I can string up on the inside of this, string this on, so it'll get down there a little quicker, because now we're going to be moving on out to that 10 to 15 foot range, you know, and that's a good time for a good size spinnerbait also. Like I was explaining earlier, I don't want a great big blade up here. I want my blade to be a 5 or so back here on the swivel, and this one up here is basically just to keep it to where to run straight. But I don't want too big a blade up there because it's going to hold it up in the water column. You want it to get down there. And another thing that you got to have, and that's crankbait of some sort, something shaddy looking that'll get into that 15 to 18 foot range. Stuff like that. Berkeley makes a really good one now. If you're going to buy a crankbait, why not buy one that David Fritz designed?
You know it's got to be good.
Because, yeah, he don't jack with nothing that don't work good. So, so we keep that pretty simple. We stay in our wheelhouse as far as that goes. And the only other thing that I would add to that is a jig, a football head jig, because sometimes you'll get out there on some of those points and stuff, and they'll be a little inactive. You know, they won't be quite as aggressive enough to eat totally shad stuff. When they're biting and they're eating, this is the stuff you want to have going in and out of the lake, because they gobble it up a lot quicker. But when you pull up on your favorite point and they're not eating something like that, then it's hard to beat a big football head too. And when I say that, you know, I like a swimming trailer on the back of it of some sort. Go ahead, let's see your box.
Well, coming off football jigs, I picked one out. I don't know why he didn't, but you know, 3/4 ounce football jig. Say color's a big deal. It's really not. Anything green pumpkin, you know, but that flapping style trailer does seem to make a difference in the summertime, and I think that's a lot, you know, because you're getting bit a lot on the way to the bottom. They're suspended 4 or 5 foot off the bottom a lot of times, and I think that flapping trailer gets their attention, helps out that suspended bite. Second one, same deal I had for May, you know, that 5.8 Kitech. Only now I'm throwing it on a 3/4 or 1 ounce jig head most of the time. You know, sometimes a half if they're up there a little shallower, but most of the time it's 3/4 or 1 ounce jig head. I picked out the same crankbait, you know, that's just a good staple. I like the, you know, a brighter color and then a real natural looking shaddy color. If they're really feeding, you know, they seem to eat that bright, you know, chartreuse and blue, sexy shad, you know, and if they're not, I'll go with maybe a little more natural tone. I picked out a Flutter Spoon. Yes, to say I love it, I really don't, but it will catch a big bass when they get post-spawn. You know, they're hard to land sometimes, but they do eat it.
Probably as well as any bait we got laid out.
Yeah.
Is the crazy thing.
They do.
But you also got to be careful because a lot of times when they are eating it, they eat it too good. We don't like throwing it that well in tournaments because they eat it too good, and you will kill a fish on it because they'll get it cleaned down in their guzla. There's something about the way that thing falls to the bottom that makes those fish want to swallow it. It's like it's dying or something, and a lot of times when a fish feeds on a bait that's already dying, his first grab of it is to swallow it, you know. So a lot of times they'll get it head first, and well, needless to say, the head being the fatter part of it, you know, and that's where the hook's at. So there's lots and lots of times that you know, there's sometimes they bite it too good, like I say, and I don't like taking a chance of killing one, you know, that time of the year, you know, because if you make one bleed, it's hard to, you know, when they're still a little traumatized from spawning, you know, it can be hard on them. So, you know, you won't hear me say that very often on very many baits, but a lot of times when they bite that, it's with the intentions of swallowing it. And like I said, I think it's because of the way it falls. It falls like something dying to the bottom.
My last one was a line through swim bait. You know, that's kind of a specialty deal. There's a lot of times when they get just post spawn that they'll stay up there shallow for a while, and that's just an easy way to target them. You know, especially like early morning, late afternoon, you can take that swim bait, work it right up there within 6 inches a foot of the surface, and a big one will swim up there and club it. I throw quite a few different ones. This is a pretty good one here. But yeah, it's definitely a big fish bait in June.
I think when they start, you know, kind of slowing down on top water, like on that walking type bait, I think a lot of times that's kind of what we go to, because they still want to come to the surface. You know, if he's suspended 6-7 foot down, they still want to drive their stuff to the surface. And that's a mighty good little, and you can work it pretty fast or you can work it pretty slow. But I think it's just another good bait that when they start quitting that top water a little bit and they don't want to come up busted on the surface, that's an extremely good option.
Those are our picks for the month of June in the Ozarks. You can come check them out at Baitworks or check them out at Baitworks online. Either way is a great place. Lots of good tackle.